It was such a sense of darkness, imprisoned with my own drugged and delusional thoughts. Waves rolling over ugly emotions, enduring seamlessly endless surgeries and 10 weeks of daily radiation. Incredible technologies, yet in the same breath, so bloody medieval. It was brutal. I'd been here once before, and it hit me then. And now with stage 4 head and neck cancer, it didn't deliver the best prognosis. That was 10 years ago, and statistically, I shouldn't be here. But I am. In the hollowest moments, the ink on my arm anchored a reminder that a Bushido spirit was still alive, and it also served to erase any future choice to deny it. Even while the body was crushed and the soul was hardly an ember, I was still doing Aikido. "50 years ago, I was rudely introduced, and it's a memory that still makes me smile. Surviving in an English school in the early 70s wasn't for the faint-hearted. A teacher pulled me out from a couple of the bigger lads, and I can still feel the thick Harris tweed of his jacket. But being the hothead, I grabbed it. I didn't know what I was going to do with it. But then there was a sudden confusion that overwhelmed me, and I remember the brightness of the fluorescent ceiling light from the floor. But there was no pain. I guess I should call that my wow moment. I hadn't a clue what it was, but I had an insatiable hunger for more. I was luckier than many, in that he showed me a better fork in the road, an irony not lost on me, given he was a geography teacher, and there would soon be a small Aikido club in the school gym for the next few years. In the late 70s, early 80s, Aikido was still a rare sight outside central London. Connecting before the internet meant word of mouth, and of course having to drive the country to find clubs. My discovery of Master Pat in the Midlands of England was pivotal. I spent half my time working and the other half in the car. Well, that's how it seemed. I learned so much from him, how to focus, even behave, to put in the bloody hard work and practice every day. He was so dedicated to the deep study of Aikido on so many levels. I'm pleased we stayed in contact, and now sadly, he's gone. But he still speaks to me with his energizing and no bullshit grit. Business failure, divorce, rejection, harboring anger and self-doubt, cancers, life's many disappointments and even tragedies, they all take their toll. Of course, I'm no different, but having at least a few tools to deal with some of these events and negative mindsets is the difference in moving forward, rebuilding, or sometimes even remaining sane. The Aiki practice embodied within served me so many times with recentering, dealing with physical pain, dealing with mental pain, and having the courage to ask for help. But time is the best healer, and I believe the Buddha spirit has helped me accelerate it. I'm only too aware that time is also becoming a rarity, and how I live and even what I say reflects my progress, or lack of it. We may work to keep all the moving parts oiled, but ultimately there's little control over the outcome, so time also serves as a powerful mortality reminder and keeps things in better perspective, as it's amazing to me how very little matters, except the big choices. I now feel the urge to push for all that does matter and avoid believing I have something to lose, as I know quitting will embrace cancer again. Now striving for optimal athleticism is an old guy lurching towards his mid-60s, overly obsessed to avoid getting sick again. I've rebalanced my daily diet and fitness to complement better recovery and then ongoing training to increase my endurance, my strength, avoid injury and boost my own expectations. Physical performance is inevitably slowing, but I know the body eventually follows the lead of a strong mindset, which is why all in is the only way to go. The martial effectiveness of Aikido can be devastating, so there's no place for ego or for testing its effectiveness at the expense of others. We train to understand ourselves, each other, to explore, to connect. These days, Buddha also emphasizes the focus on personal integrity and self-development, and holistic overview of wellness of body, mind, and spirit, which is a positive way to live, a truth that begins and ends within us. These are qualities and a strength I find more essential, certainly some days more than others. The golden years of Aikido are long gone, but it deeply concerns me to see the ecosystem in such a sorry state of decline and witness so many dojos disappearing. There's a lack of new students, but those few that do come in are not wanting to just learn self-defense or fight. I found they're usually intrigued by other personal reasons, probably unknown to them given a young life not yet lived. But maybe curiosity and the search for purpose are some of the same reasons that drew me. It always spikes my interest and attention when I might see my younger self reflected. In his mid-80s, Master Pat shared with me, verbatim, "There is nothing more perfect than nature. It has no muscles and no physicality. We must copy it. Everything else is bollocks." In that moment, it struck me that he was really onto something with his sentiment, something Aikido's founder, Morihei Ueshiba, might even approve of. So I've gone full circle and now consider it a role worthy to strive and build on our own direct lineage and culture, preserving the authenticity and quality of the founder the best we can. It's a continuous study, a labor of love, and I'm convinced the reward helps you find your place in the world with a life that shares greater meaning. I was once asked, why do you do Aikido? Well, the hunger remains, but the more thought I gave it, the more complex it became. It's such a positive way to engage conflict and life, to build resilience. It has its own natural intelligence, and it's a complete system and a path of personal mastery. This means breaking through fears and vulnerabilities, and then just occasionally you hit a level of renewed self-assurance, both in and out of the dojo. So, is Aikido a metaphor for life or an emulation of nature? It's taken me decades to understand that they are one of the same. As you get older, there's an inevitable tendency to unravel the complexities. So simply put, Aikido keeps me grounded. It gives me wings when I need them. And maybe now, the why is nothing to do with Aikido, but a continuing subconscious quest, perhaps, just to be a better person. Since that first Aiki spark back in the school corridor, there's been unexpected gaps in training that life throws at you. But early on, Aikido became a very consistent thread through life I came to trust. Always there. An ever-moving entity I've grown with. All I had to do was turn up again and I was forgiven. When practice really comes together, I don't feel my age, and I find myself light and sometimes at one in the moment, which can be briefly euphoric. It's a powerful sense of presence and a little taste of freedom. What a beautiful art.